So I'm not going to ask you to confess, but just for yourself, what is the deepest longing? If you just want to feel a little better in your own skin, or if you want to show up with others, with your partner, with your community, with your kids, with your parents. Or maybe there's a shift, a transition in your life where you have achieved a certain kind of success in the profession or the career that you've had, and it starts feeling a little empty or just not aligned enough or not anymore with the direction of your evolution, of your soul's journey, all the way to, if you want to create world peace. I want support for that. And for many people, why we come together is because this lonely living, this isolated little buckets of connection starts feeling like maybe there's something more than that. Maybe I don't have to figure it out on my own, and also piece it together. A workshop here, a Zoom here, some lecture, some podcast. Oh, good. I don't want to put any of it down, but just for me to find a way to bring it all together into one room, it changed my life, really. I come from a brainiac island. I was a double master and almost PhD in one I finished. I thought if I keep learning and digging and studying and reading and seeking, I will find the meaning of life. And the more of that, the less meaning. So I was very lucky. I ended up in a Buddhist center where meditation was taught through movement. It was a total miracle. Like I could never know to look for it. I didn't even know that I was a mover back then. I was a klutz and a brainiac, like I said. I would go to one of those high school dances and like, oh my God, nobody asks me, please to stay 15 minutes and then cut it out. Cut out of there because it was too much anxiety. Anyway, so movement and meditation was the first opening for me. It's like, I can actually feel my body. I can feel a lot and move and also be held by something bigger, by a sense of some big presence, mysterious presence that's here. So then all the stuff started coming up, right? All the unfinished business, as they call it, emotional, undigested material. There was no place to go with that. The community was not interested in exploring in that way. So I had to find it elsewhere. And there's many other miraculous divine places where I found what I didn't know I was looking for. And I realized that all these pieces belong together. The program that I dreamed up, I was dreaming it in 95, I think, was my first inkling, like, this would be fabulous. But, I had so much work to do on the inside that it took another many years. I think in 2004, I taught a little piece of that, and 2012 was the first year-long, the first circle. And now we're opening circle 8, like infinity. And I'm more and more inspired by the bigness of what we're into as humans. Not just the daily human interactions and commitments, all honorable and noble. But there's something else going on here, something bigger, and also bigger than a human person and a human family. There's collectively a big shift happening, right, in our world, in our Western world anyway, but also a vastness of presence that we have forgotten that we have access to, a vastness of resource, of holding, of connection, of power and love. Whatever you're after, it's here, right? The human capacity or the possibility of embodying the essence of life. I'm just going to call it life, or you can call it source or mystery or God or being or the big sky mind. A human has actually a chance at embodying it in this lifetime if we do our work, right? If we do the housekeeping that's needed to actually open up space for that. So, are you with me so far? It can get a little abstract, but it's actually very much down on the ground work. And of course, the work is rooted in the body. But when I say body, I mean body in the biggest sense. The body of Earth, the body of our collective network, the body of space, the cosmic body, the planetary body. It's big, many-layered, and embodiment is not just feeling my feelings here to me anymore, anyway. It's a portal into a reality where anything is possible. So I want to show you, and then we'll have some time for questions, this diagram I made during COVID, because what else was a person to do but make diagrams? The basic shape of the work is those three circles. One circle, which should be obvious, right, is conscious movement, is the way of moving that opens awareness in the body, opens the body to breath, feeling, to connecting, to aliveness. But then, of course, in the process of moving, if you've moved for 15 minutes, stuff comes up, right? All the unprocessed, undigested, relational, inner dilemmas, work and love, I guess. Like Freud said, there's only two things we care about, work and love. Issues with intimacy with others and with the world, or issues around, what am I doing here? And how can I be more involved or more engaged or happier or more aligned with my soul? And all those little voices that tell me that I shouldn't even try. And then spiritual practice is part of the work, right? So it's held as a portal into the big reality, but in a way that includes the human reality. The fact that I live as body on the planet and I have problems, I have issues. Let's see, what's the next slide here? Oh yeah, so this has been done before. It's not like I'm inventing the wheel. Because movement and emotional work is the area of dance movement therapy, right? It's been around for decades and people do that. Sometimes the spiritual dimension is left out. It's very human focused. And then therapy done in a spiritual context also has been done and is being done, where the work is not just for improving the next few days, how I feel about myself, but is seen as a path to awakening. But often the body is left out. Often the embodied reality is not addressed as fully. In many places, you can find movement that's considered a spiritual practice. So it's an art, it's an expressive art, and it's an opening to God. But then all the human mess remains unaddressed. Because, well, who needs therapy when we have God? Well, we all do. So this is the basic framework of moving with life, is where those three circles meet, where we can do all of it at the same time, but not on our own, because that's for the birds, right? Community is the secret ingredient. Something happens in the circle where all of this is potentiated. The circle does the work, just to see that I am not the only one having an issue with grief or with rage or with my mother, to have some company, not like if something is wrong with me and I have to go to therapy and fix it, which I've done plenty of that, believe me, and I completely support one-on-one work. But there's something that happens in the circle that's bigger than that. And I have not been able to replicate it in the one-on-one work. Some of the work we do is one person working and being witnessed by the circle. So, there's still opportunities to go deep into whatever needs to be worked with. But some of it, or a lot of it, is also done in triads. And so we learn how to be each other's allies in this process of exploring, because the workshop is over and then what am I going to do? I'm back on my own. Except in this model, at least for the year, we have Zoom calls between the in-person modules, so the continuity is maintained. And then we also add partner practice or peer practice, where people get together one-on-one or in trios and continue the practice in their daily lives with support. So the community support is super essential in this model. There are 2 people from the first circle, 2012, who still meet every other Monday to do practice together. So it can go beyond the format of the program. And many lifelong friendships have been made over time that continue. And this is a very special community, a specific version of community. It's not a social community as much, even though that's part of it. It's a community of practice, right? So we show up with a certain aspiration. And really, at this stage in my life, it's the aspiration to wake up. The aspiration to wake up and support each other in waking up to what's going on here. So we can live with a little more wisdom, a little more compassion and openness and freedom. Freedom is not my word necessarily, but there is something freeing about walking this path in a way that I bring all my human dilemmas, all my human issues to the path as portals into waking up, as opportunities for growth, as opportunities to cultivate in myself what I lost access to. A sense of inner support, a sense of inner authority, inner independence, a sense of love, capacity to open, capacity for boundaries, all the things we want, or we say we want anyway, but they take a little work. Okay, but this is not all. So nature is the beyond human community, which is also part of the work, or part of what I'm interested in, because we're all held in the natural world, right? And it's relatively uncomplicated. It's not always nice, but it's simple. Like a tree is a tree. It's not trying to be a giraffe. And when I go to the beach, I know I belong with the rocks. I know I belong with the grasses and the dunes and the ocean. How do I know it? I don't know. There is an elemental sense of being part of something bigger than this human body, the body of the earth. And we do work with nature during the year-long to experience that. And then, of course, there's the space of presence, which I am calling mystery now, because presence can be a little confusing. The mystery, the who knows what's going on here of it all. You can call it life or consciousness or loving awareness or being, capital being. And in the beginning and in the end, the work is dedicated to cultivating our connection with that, for the sake of the world, not just for my own sake. As the Buddhists say, for the sake of all beings. But so I can make an offering that maybe will make a difference in my corner of the world. Okay, so that's all of it. Held in the mystery and nature, held in community. These 3 pieces happen together. And that's it. Except it's forever. I don't know how long this took. I can say it in 10 minutes, but this is really lifelong work. So the program is not meant to give anybody a fix or a solution for their problems, even though it may happen, because people come with intentions, like so how to work out the transition in work, or should I move to the East Coast and take care of my parents, or should I stay in this relationship or go? A specific intention can be part of it, but it's more a process or path or practice for the rest of our lives. And that's how I've been holding it in my own life, and that's how I offer it to you.